And the top 50 prospects in this NFL draft is quarterback, the best quarterback in this draft, mind you, Dwayne Haskins, 21 out of Iowa. And he had a total of 5,396 passing yards with 54 touchdowns, 9 interceptions, and a 70% completion average in his entire time with Ohio. The guy in Iowa is next, but we're going to talk about Ohio real quick. This past season, he had 4,831 passing yards with 50 touchdowns, 8 interceptions, and 70% completion average. This is the most accurate quarterback in this draft class. He isn't as mobile as Kyler Murray, but honestly, when you get to the NFL level, what's more important? Be able to have a mobile quarterback who's going to get injured eventually, or have a pocket passer that can be mobile enough and get the job done, and actually play the position the way it needs to be played, throwing the football. If you want to play running back, Kyler Murray can definitely do a little option set and play running back. But in my opinion, Dwayne Haskins is the best quarterback coming out of this NFL draft. He is listed number 22 out of 100 in the NFL Network ranking. He is compared to a Jameis Winston. I think he'll actually be better than Jameis, and he is definitely a first-round pick. Number 3 on this list is the Iowa player that we were talking about, tight end, the best tight end in this draft class, T.J. Hockenson. He is 21 coming out of Iowa, of course, with 1,080 receiving yards, 9 touchdowns, 73 receptions, and a 14.8 yards per reception average. This past season, he had 760 receiving yards, 6 touchdowns, 49 receptions, and a 15.5 yards per reception average. The reason I have T.J. Hockenson better than Jace Sternberger is T.J. Hockenson is one of the best, if not the best, run-blocking tight end coming out of this draft. His run-blocking technique and power is unbelievable. It's something that I haven't seen out of a player coming out of the draft in a very long time. He is listed as number 4 in the NFL Network rankings out of 100, and I compare him to a Zach Ertz. Will he be as good as Zach Ertz as far as receiving threat? I'm not sure. Will he be a better run blocker? Yes, he will. Number 2 on this list is defensive end Josh Allen. He is 21 years old out of Kentucky with a total of 220 tackles, 42 tackles for loss, 31.5 sacks, 11 forced fumbles. This past season, he had 88 tackles, 22 tackles for loss, 17 sacks, and 5 forced fumbles. This is a guy that is just creating havoc. He's a pure pass rusher that can also stop the run game. This is a guy that I really feel like will be a top 10 player in this league in a couple years, and it's just going to be exciting to see him play this next season. He is rated as the number 3 out of 100 NFL Network rankings, and people are comparing him to a Myles Garrett. That's how good he is. And I would definitely take him in the top 5, if not the first round of this NFL draft. Now, the number 1 overall top 50 prospect coming out of this NFL draft in 2019 is also defensive end. This is a guy that I believe is a little bit of a sleeper. People aren't talking about him as much as they should. He is a little bit older at 23 years old, and he's coming out of Louisiana Tech. His name is Jaylon Ferguson. The reason I think he's the best player coming out of this draft is because he is the best pass rusher. And not only that, Jaylon Ferguson will become a top 5 pass rusher in this league within 2 years. You better believe it. In college, he had 187 tackles, 68 tackles for loss, 45 total sacks with 7 forced fumbles. He played 4 years. He averaged over 10 sacks a year. That's showing consistency, and the true fact is he knows how to play football. He is a little bit lower on the technique side compared to a Josh Allen, but the fact that he's that productive and he's still learning how to get his technique right, it just proves that this guy's going to be a top player. Get him in the system with a defensive coach that knows how to get his technique on track. There's no doubt he's going to be the best defensive end coming out of this draft. This past season, he had 65 tackles, 26 tackles for loss, and 17.5 sacks, leading the college league in sacks with 2 forced fumbles. This is a guy that was actually rated 64 out of 100 in the NFL Network rankings. In my opinion, it's obviously low, and I'm comparing him to a Chandler Jones. I think this is a guy that is not an outside linebacker pass rusher, but he's definitely a strong candidate at defensive end, and man, you're going to get quite a bit of production from him, even as a rookie. Thank you for listening in on the top 50 prospects in the NFL Draft on part 1, part 2, and here part 3. I look forward to what unfolds in this NFL Draft Thursday through Saturday, and it'll be interesting to see how it really shakes out. Thank you for listening. Thank you.